Say 8. To understand Acharya Chandra in this text, I would suggest you to read His Holiness the Dalai Lama's book, How to See Yourself as You Really Are. How to See Yourself as You Really Are. So, initially, the best thing for us to do is always try to read very authentic books. Authentic books. Later on, once you get a full import of what emptiness is, then you can read any book. It's not going to be any problem. You know that, okay, this book is wrong, and from this point, this book is very shallow, this book is like this, book is like this, okay, this you can decide. But the first impression that you get, the first dye that you must have on the very clean, the mind must be a very authentic, the books. Okay, this is what we need to keep in mind. So with that in mind, the real miracle, as I said earlier, the real miracle that is are in Nagarjuna's books. These are the real miracles. Acharya Chandrakirti's books. Okay, now to aid to these two, I would suggest you to read His Holiness the Dhamma's book, How to See Yourself as You Really Are. How to See Yourself as You Really Are. Okay. Now, now how to meditate emptiness in a very quick way. Okay, say the 3 points plus 1. 3 points. 3 points. First, you think of the self, just the self. Okay, I, just the I. Or you can apply this to anything else. Okay, let's do this together. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. Okay. So what we are doing now with the self, you can apply this to the flower, you can apply this to your, to your husband, to your wife, to your children, to your parents, to your friends, to your colleagues, to your house, to your cars, and to a difficult person. You can apply this to any other thing, right? Okay, with this mind, the 3 points.
Could you please summarize the instruction after?
Say it again.
After the meditation, you can summarize the instruction.
Summarize the discussion.
Give the points of the meditation.
The instructions, you want to write down.
Okay, the points.
After the meditation.
Okay. Wow, Tomar is amazing. Okay, thank you. Points we can note it down. That's wiser. Yeah, first we'll note down the points, and then we do the meditation later. That's wise. Thank you, Tomar. Well, whatever you say is very sensible. Okay, point 1. Point 1. Okay, so the main heading is quick meditation emptiness. Wow. Quick meditation, huh? Instant meditation and emptiness. Instant meditation and emptiness, right? Or let's say instant dose of emptiness. Instant dose of emptiness, right? Okay, point 1, the self. Self. Point 2, the 6 elements. Point 3, the 2 questions. Point 1, the self. Point 2, the 6 elements. Point 3, what's the point 3? 2 questions. Okay, 2 questions. Question number 1. Question number 1, what are you seeing? Question number 1, what are you seeing? Question number 1, what are you seeing? Question number 2. Okay, question number 1, what are you seeing? The answer is, I'm seeing the 6 elements. I'm seeing the 6 elements. Okay, question number 2. Where is the self? Where is the self? Answer, it is empty. Okay, these are 3 points. Then finally, plus 1. Plus 1, the fourth one. Fourth one is, therefore, everything which I see is illusion-like. Therefore, 3, but the 3 plus 1, 1 in the second set. Therefore, everything I see, therefore everything I perceive, that's better. Therefore, everything I perceive is illusion-like. Okay, so now, let's, ready? Okay, for your information, so the same meditation that we are doing now is available in this blue book. In this blue book, which is the title is Staircase to Emptiness. Staircase to Emptiness. In the end, it should be there in the end. It should be there. Yes. Page
317.
No.
317.
317, 318.
317.
317. Okay. Even the
318.
Oh,
318. Okay, it's there. 317, 318, just look at this. Staircase to Emptiness. Practical meditation manual, right? So this one manual. Don't think that this is ultimate. This is just a sample. This is just a sample. What we have from this blue book is just a sample. So for some time, for like what few months, you can use this sample. Then later on, when your learning becomes very extensive, then you can design your own meditation emptiness, right? For the time being, you have to say you can depend on this, what is there in this book. Okay, now ready? Okay. Okay, the sit upright. Okay. Point 1, the self. Think about the self, yourself. It's so real. How does it appear? So real, so object real, so solidified, so objectified there. Is it like a dream coming from your mind or from the object, 100% from the object? This is known as self-grasping awareness. Okay, now in more detail, remember what Aranyagarjuna said, if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? So likewise, then, seeing that the self is objectively real, if the self does exist objectively, you go closer to the object. Going closer to the object, we see that the self is nothing but the 6 elements. Point number 2, 6 elements. Element earth. So these 6 elements you have to go one by one. Even though you know that these 6 elements are not the self, but you have to go one by one. Only then the effect will be felt. Otherwise, you will not feel the effect. Element earth, the solid part, the skin, the bone, the fatty tissues, the cartilages, the muscles, the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the kidney, gallbladder, liver. None of this solid part is me. Element earth, element water, the blood is pumped in and out by the heart. I think there are about 7 or 8 liters of blood on average that we have. Of course, that is not me. Element water is not me. And fire, the body heat. Of course, it's not me. Element of air which I breathe in and out is also not me. Element of space is also not me. Element of consciousness, of course, is not me. I'm a female. I'm a male. Consciousness doesn't have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. So this consciousness, and people cannot see my mind. People can see me. They cannot see my mind. So therefore, even this consciousness is also not me. Keep that aside. What is there? Nothing is left there. Nothing is left there. Okay. So with this point 1 and 2 done, the next point 3, the 2 questions. What are you seeing now? I'm just seeing the 6 elements. Second question. Where is this person? Where is this person? 6 elements are not a person. Keep aside the 6 elements. What is left as different from 6 elements? Nothing is left there. Where is this person? The person is empty. Stay in this experience for a while. Stay in this experience. Okay. Now if you want to elaborate this further, imagine that you come out of the meditation. Again the person comes back. Again go into this meditation. the person is empty. Again, come out, the person comes back. There's a constant change happening. Person comes back, is empty, comes back, empty, appears, and empty, appears, empty. There's constant change happening. Of course, on the object, there's no change. If there's change happening, it's just the change is happening on the perception level. And the perception is purely subjective. Whatever is involved in this change is purely the perception and subjective. So this self is a part of this. It comes, goes away, comes, goes away. So it's part of this perception. So this mere perception taking place on my cognition analysis, the mind of the cognition analysis. So because it's just a mere perception coming on the mind of the cognition analysis, it is all coming from my mind. Because it's coming from my mind, the object is not really there. Therefore, it becomes like illusion. Illusion is described as something where you see the discrepancy between appearance and reality. Appearance-wise, it seems so real. The reality is that it is empty of being real. Because of this discrepancy, it is that object is defined as referred to as illusion. So therefore, even the self is also illusion, right? Because it appears so real. Now what I see is just empty of object reality. Therefore, it is like illusion. Okay, slowly come out of this, come out of this. Okay, if you can do this on a daily basis, and for some, and this could give a tinge of a fear in you. Tinge of a fear, a tinge of joy, tranquility, serenity. If these things happen, you are very meritorious, which means that you are getting somewhere. Even if you have this experience, don't think that you got emptiness, right? You may have a feeling of awe and feeling of wonder, but still it most likelihood, unless you have, say maybe great exposure to emptiness from your past lives. Otherwise, for most of us, this is going to be a very gross, the coarse understanding of emptiness. Yet you are in a proper track. Now, how to make it, say, the more vibrant and more the subtle, depends on how much you study, how much you reflect, particularly the very standard books. Okay, did we do this one? The rejection of seven modes? We did not, right? We did not do this rejection of seven modes. We did not do that. Huh?
We didn't. We need to, you said 5 days, no?
Okay. Okay. So the...
Can I have a question about the meditation or later?
Yes.
About meditation?
Yes.
Whenever I do it, when we got here to conscience, you said, of course not, because nobody can see my conscience and people can see me. Usually when I do it, I'm always stuck there because the answer I give myself is yes, I'm in the conscious, not the gross conscious. People cannot see it, but this is me, the very subtle conscious. How do I put it aside?
Okay, these questions, like what the Leorella came up with, these questions, in meditation, should these questions arise, this is very important. You must bring this up. Without resolving these questions, no point. We will never get emptiness. So these questions must be brought up. In fact, my friends, some of them, they come up with say, when you do the sadhanas, I dissolve in the emptiness. From emptiness I arise, I dissolve emptiness. So when they dissolve the emptiness, one of my friends said that the moment I dissolve the emptiness, I speak about that the signal exactly is just me like this. Then he is coming up with some kind of experience, feeling that this I, from these 6 elements, it comes out, and this I is watching the 6 elements, right? So there's some objective existence self coming there. So any of such experiences, because of the innumerably different propensities, imprints that we had from our past lives, no doubt we are bound to have different experiences. Whatever experience that you have is very important to resolve them, right? You must bring them up. Okay, for the consciousness, this is one thing which can be quite an important thing. Say, one thing is one thing which can be helpful is, of course, very standard version is that you see the emptiness of this mind also, this consciousness also, this consciousness, emptiness of this mind. So, be it the subtle mind, the gross mind, right? Whichever mind you feel like latching on to, say that this is I, right? So this mind, you try to see the emptiness of this mind, right? Okay. To see the emptiness of mind, by the way, tell me what time should we stop? 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, so still we have like 1 hour, a little over 1 hour. Okay, I'll see. Okay, so I think I'll quickly do this, and then I have some other things to share with you, small things. Once that are done, if we still have a little more time, then we can do the emptiness of the mind, right? Emptiness of the mind. Okay, if we get a little time, and then okay, so we have to work on the emptiness of the mind. How this mind is empty, not only the body, not only the self, not only the self in the form of the 6 elements, but how even this mind is also empty object. Even this mind is like a dream, right? One, and then yes, and if you know how to see emptiness of the mind, in some cases, maybe 1 out of 1,000 people, it could be quite overwhelming experience to see the emptiness of the mind. It could be quite overwhelming. 1 out of 1,000, if not 1 out of 10,000, right? If it happens, it's so overwhelming, you cannot bear it, then stop doing the meditation on emptiness of the mind. Stop doing this and do something else. Meditation on emptiness of the self, meditate on emptiness of the flower, like this. If it's overwhelmingly scary, then stop doing this, right? Do something else. Then slowly you can switch to the emptiness of the mind. If the fear is not so overwhelming, a little bit of fear comes, it doesn't matter. A little bit of fear comes, this is a good indication that there's a clash happening between the grasping at the self, pretending to the mind to be self as objective real, and the seeing the emptiness of the mind. These two, there's a clash happening. This clash is represented, or it comes in the form of a tinge of fear coming in your mind. So that's good. And then later on, the more you practice this fear will be replaced by the incredible, very subtle tranquility, serenity, and joy. Okay, one thing. And if you know how to meditate on the emptiness of the mind, then not only that, this can help us to understand the emptiness of the self, it can also help us to relieve many of our unnecessary fears, anxiety, stress, and so forth. Right? So when you go through this anxiety and so forth, anxiety, these things are nothing but experience of the mind, experience of your mind. So when you see the emptiness of the mind, you can, just as you subject the mind to this analysis, you can subject the anxiety, you can subject the fear, you can subject the unhappy feelings into this analysis. How to do that? So first, when it is so in an aggravated state, you cannot possibly think of doing emptiness meditation on the mind, right? When it's the aggravated state. When it's the aggravated state, what you do is that just get out of the situation. Say, problematic situation, get out of the situation, go to your room and close the door, right? And then sit comfortably on the cushion and just forget everything, right? And then do a little bit of the breathing meditation. Just breathe. Focus on the breath. Just focus on the breath. That will quell, like almost like 60-70% of your mental agitation will be quelled by this, the focus on the breath. This meditation will quell this very obvious turbulence of the mind will be quelled. Then the subtle deep heaviness of the mind will still remain. Okay, then you can subject this to analysis. When the mind is a little more calm, then you subject the anxiety, stress, or heaviness, whatever. You try to first visualize this and then see the emptiness of this. This will greatly help us, right? Okay, so this, if we get time, we'll do that in the end. Okay, with this in mind, if you turn to page, okay, page 2 of the prayer book. Page 2 of the prayer book. Page 2 of the prayer book. The second stanza. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the concept of the Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is the spirit of liberation. Okay, this is by Aranyagārjuna. This is by Aranyagārjuna. Aranyagārjuna paid obeisance, reverence to Buddha Shakyamuni for having taught emptiness. Okay, this is very precious, the Buddha's salutation of Buddha Aranyagārjuna to Buddha Shakyamuni that he wrote in Mula Madhyamaka Karika. This stanza we must understand it. Understand it, and if possible, I try to say, read this stanza every day and then reflect on the meaning of this by incorporating the emptiness meditation. Okay, what it says here is that there are 8 characteristics of the functional phenomena. 8 characteristics. Okay, a set of form, one set with pair, right? One set with a pair of, say, the phenomena, which means that, say, ceasing and arising, one set, ceasing and arising, annihilation and permanence, set 2, coming and going, set 3, then separateness and sameness, set 4. 4 into 2 is 8. So these are the 8 phenomena which we confront with in our everyday life. These are the 8 phenomena on the basis of which these are 8 phenomena with which we interact with the world. Okay, for example, ceasing and arising. Say 2018 arose, 2017 ceased, right? 2017 ceased. And our, say, the what? And as we become older, when you celebrate the birthday, right? When you celebrate the birthday, you're the what? 1 year older become 1 year older arises, and the one year younger ceased, right? Ceasing, arising. And then when good things happen, when good things arises, earlier, say, the mental unhappiness ceases for a while. When the bad thing arises, then the good things, early experiences ceases. Okay, so this is arising and ceasing, which we learned, chapter 24, that the whole universe operates on the basis of the principle of ceasing and arising. This is what we said. The next one is annihilation and permanence. Let's say that the objective existence never existed. Annihilation means something which is non-existent altogether. And then, say, the subjective existence always existed. So this is like permanence, lasting forever, right? Subjective existence always existed having connotation to permanence. Permanence doesn't, here, this permanence doesn't mean permanent in the literal sense. This is like something durable, something which is long-lasting. So, even this, say, for example, when we said, okay, now that the Independence Day, right? Any nation, now Independence Day, which means that people celebrate. Now we are not going to be under, say, the rule of dictatorship or whatever anymore, right? Now total, the lasting freedom. So this is like permanence. And then our earlier suffering under dictatorship has gone forever, right? Annihilation. Okay, coming and going. Coming, going, say when your friends come, you're happy. When the terrible neighbors come, you're very unhappy, right? Okay, coming and going. So we expect small children, they expect their parents coming to pick them up, right? And so the coming and going, this is one thing. Then the separateness and sameness. People fight over these things. Some countries, they say that, no, we are two different countries, we are not one country. The two countries are, different countries, separate countries. People fight. And some say that, for example, the word Germany, East Germany, West Germany, say that no, we are not two different countries, we are one country. They fight for the sameness. And then what? Ukraine and Russia, they said no, we are not we are not one country, we are different countries, right? Also, people fight over oneness and differentness, oneness and differentness. Okay, and then Brexit, right? So no, we don't want to be a part of the EU, we should be separate. Okay, and some say, no, we will have to join EU, right? So this is how people fight. Okay, so no separateness in all. And in fact, if you look at if you just scrutinize your life, you see that somehow your life revolves around these 8 characteristics, believe it or not, right? Your life revolves around these 8 characteristics. Emotions, attachment, anger, jealousy, all these things, somehow they're connected with these 8 characteristics. Okay, so the moment you see that these 8 characteristics, they're all like dream, your mind will be freed from you just feel such a freedom that, okay, what really ensnares me, trapped me in this mental prison of the mind, I'm free from this. You can feel it. Okay, so how that these 8 phenomena, when we see these 8 phenomena in the light of objective reality, then we are trapped into we are thrown into the turbulence of emotions, fear, anxiety, stress, and so forth. So the moment we are free from them by seeing them as empty of objective existence, by seeing them in the light of dependent origination, that they are empty of independent existence, they are empty of objective existence, then in this experience, for example, okay, let's say that these 8 characteristics, if you're able to, when we will see the emptiness of these 8 characteristics, when will we see the emptiness of these 8 characteristics with the help of conventional analysis or ultimate analysis? With the ultimate analysis. Okay, so you go into the ultimate analysis pertaining to the 8 characteristics. Now what happens? All the 8 characteristics dissolve, right? All the 8 characteristics dissolve. So in this experience, sickness, aging, death, tension, stress, everything dissolves. Because all these undesirable phenomena, they are related to these 8 characteristics. They are all dissolved. They are all gone. Okay. So this, no separateness, no sameness. And in this experience, all these fears dissolve. What happens? It transcends. This experience transcends happiness and unhappiness, happiness and the miseries. It transcends both. So you reach the transcendental happiness. You reach the transcendental happiness. Okay. What we consider as happiness is always pull and push is there. This pull and push is what? Created by the self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance creates all these diversity, and then within this, then we are pulled and pushed. Right? I want this, you get happiness. This is a pull. I don't want this, you're pushed. So involving pull and push happens. This is loss of freedom. Loss of freedom misery. So here in this experience, this loss of freedom dissolves. Pull and push stops. Pull and push stops, you have gained your freedom. This is known as the transcendental happiness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers.